Hi everybody, my name is Elisabeth. I'm a member of Fior della Spada, a HEMA club based in Vienna, concentrating on the Bolognese fencing style. I prepared a little training session, a training workout for you, and I hope you'll enjoy it. This video is part of an article I wrote a few weeks ago for our club's homepage. It's a blog article called Stretching and Flexibility in HEMA. It is in German though, but if you're interested, I'll put the link to the article down below into the description. And one part of that article is a special workout for two-handed sword with an emphasis on shoulder mobility. And so, since I wanted to do a video anyway, I decided to do it in English. So here we are. Important before we start, the exercises in this video are for the two-handed sword as it is used in the Bolognese source texts in Italy, somewhere between 1500 and 1600. In our club we mainly use Marozzo and Anonimo Bolognese for it. We also call it spadone, which is simply Italian for big sword, to be able to distinguish it from other two-handed swords, as for example a montante or a long sword. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do these exercises with another type of sword, but if you're really interested in the historical context and or an accurate reconstruction, if you want to say so, then you should keep the following things in mind. So evidence is pretty strong that the spadone, as used by Marozzo, has quite a few unique characteristics. If we take a look, the total length of the sword is approximately 150 centimeters, sometimes even smaller. The weight is about 2 kilograms. We always find the ricasso. The sword can have, but doesn't necessarily have, two small elsette, which are the parrying hooks you can see here. And as far as we investigated, there are no side rings present on a Bolognese spadone. For this video I am using a spadone from Black Fencer, provided by my club Fior della Spada. The total length is about 143 centimeters, handle is 37 centimeters, and the weight is about 1.8 kilograms. Small disclaimer before we start with the main part: this video is not meant to be for total beginners, but obviously I hope that beginners might find something useful in it as well if they're interested. But anyway, let's just dive into it. Drill number one is basically just cuts to the right and to the left. We start with our right foot forward if you're right-handed, and I go into porta di ferro e alta, which means that my hands are on the left side of my knee, somewhere around here. And then I do mandritto, so I cut from the right to the left. I start the cut by pushing away the pommel, turn the sword into position. I cut downwards from the right to the left. Somewhere around here, I turn the sword and I put the weight from my front foot to my back foot, like this. And I end up in coda longa e distesa. Again, porta di ferro alta, start to cut from the right to the left, turn the sword and put the weight on your back foot. The same with the left foot forward, only that this time we don't start in porta di ferro but in coda longa e alta, which means that my hands are now on the right side of my knee, somewhere around here. Now we do a roverso, so a cut from the left to the right. Again, I start the cut by pushing the pommel away, sword into position, cut downwards. Somewhere around here I turn the sword and I put the weight on my back foot. Again, coda longa e alta, cut and turn sword and put the weight on your back foot. Drill number two is basically the same thing, only that we change the starting position. So when I'm with my right foot forward, I won't start in porta di ferro alta anymore, but I turn the sword to the right until I'm in guarda di croce, and now I do my mandritto. So I cut from the right to the left, turn the sword and go into coda longa e distesa. So again, I go into guarda di croce, I push the pommel away, bring the sword in position, cut downwards, turn the sword again, and put the weight on my back foot. With my left foot forward, I will now not start in coda longa e alta anymore, but I will turn the sword to the left into guardia d'entrare, and then I do my reverso again. So start the cut by pushing the pommel away, turn the sword, cut downwards to the right side. Somewhere around here we turn the sword and put the weight backwards. Again, guardia d'entrare, push the pommel away, cut, turn the sword and put the weight on your back foot. Drill number 3. I start with my right foot forward and now I do a redoppio, which means I will cut upwards. So start in any guard you like. Then we do the redoppio, so I bring the tip of the sword back and I cut upwards from the left side upwards to the right side into guardia di croce. So the guard we know from drill number 2. And I combine this movement with a step. So I bring the tip backwards, I cut upwards, and while doing so I step forward with my left foot into guardia di croce. Again. So bring the tip backwards, cut upwards and step. And ending guardia di croce. From guardia di croce now, I do the same thing but on the right side. So cut upwards by bringing the tip backwards, cut upwards from the right to the left side and combine it with a step. And when you do that, you end up in guardia d'entrare, the other guard from the second drill. So once again, the whole thing. I start in any guard I want, bring the tip backwards, cut upwards with a step, guardia di croce, bring the tip backwards, cut upwards with a step, guardia d'entrare. Words of wisdom before we start with the whole workout. Pay attention to 2 things. The first one, when you do the cuts and the blows, whatever, with the spadone or a heavy sword, keep the tension in your core, and every time you do a blow, try not to fall over and to fall over with the sword. So keep the tension in your core, that's number 1. Number 2 is the drill is supposed to train your shoulder mobility. So when you do a cut, try to use your maximum range, which means that for me, for example, my maximum range is somewhere around here. So the shoulder goes forward, the arm is straight. And that's the second thing. At your maximum range, your arm is straight, but not stretched like this or overstretched like this. So when the arm is straight, if you would stop the motion, you could still move your elbow like this. If you can do that, it's correct, but don't overstretch it. I showed you everything right-handed, but if you want to do the left side, which is a very good idea, you simply have to mirror everything I showed you.
She's my electric lady, and now I'm losing control.
So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope my first attempt to make a video wasn't too disastrous, but if you liked it, you'll make me very happy if you leave a like and subscribe. Thank you.